Bruce Ely. I'm a photographer for the team.
I'm Casey Holdall. I'm the beat reporter / Blazers insider for the Portland Trail Blazers. I do a lot of the written kind of heavy lifting. Having been around the team for some time now, I feel like I have a good sense of what works and what doesn't, what flies with basketball operations.
I'm a still photographer. I take pictures. Often it's a totally different way of seeing than video. And there's a crew of video guys that I consider my counterpart. We try to tell the same kind of stories, but in different ways. Something that I've always tried to do in my career is to show more of the personality of the players off the court. I've had to earn the trust of the players. I'm there to document what they do as professionals.
The notion of trust in any field I think is important, but in sports and in terms of covering your team internally, it's paramount. If you don't have the trust and the buy-in from the people that you work with on a daily basis, and from someone like myself, that's the players and the coaches. It takes a lot to make sure that you keep those relationships and that you don't take them for granted.
One of my responsibilities is to take pictures of the guys coming into the arena. I'm posted up along with our video crew and our social media person.
On a normal game day, I wait outside my creeper corner, as Evan Turner so lovingly dubbed it. I stand here and I get the walk-ins.
How excited are you to be back?
I'm so excited, Zach. From there, I go straight to the court where I film warm-ups. We have a Red Bull Instagram sponsored story. I definitely feel blessed to work for a team whose superstars really understand social media and how important it is. It's very rare that you find two guys like Dame and CJ. They make my job so easy. I don't even have to do anything.
A lot of it is collaboration and bouncing of ideas off each other. We use a couple various assets, from video to photos to copy. And then, we all just kind of sit down and kind of try to come up with ideas on how we could best use those pieces of content. Aaron Grossman, who kind of manages our digital department, he does a really good job with keeping all the departments apprised of the things that we're doing.
I think generally speaking, everything we are doing for the decade should culminate with the decade night, because I think in terms of our fans, they're going to see the decade night as sort of like the big celebration of that decade, and I think we're going to do all the lead up to that night and then essentially flip a switch the next day or two, but after that, probably flipping the switch and promoting the next decade.
Adam Ward, who does a really good job of kind of coming up with social ideas and executing them. Adam does a great job with coming up with ideas for graphics and then creating those graphics.
I think there's a misconception out there that we're friends with the players. It's more of a professional relationship. Very seldom that line gets crossed. When Brandon Roy retired, I spent maybe an hour over at his house just taking pictures of him and his kids, and they're just really sweet pictures of a guy that contributed a lot to Portland basketball. There's always the game winners, Dame's .9 shot. Those are really exciting pictures, but the kind of picture I like to make is more of a behind-the-scenes storytelling moment. And I'm also a drone pilot, and one time I saw that a truck had fallen into Evan Turner's pool. I show up at his house. We end up on his back porch. He's wearing his bathrobe and slippers, and I hand the controls over to Evan. He flies the drone a little bit, and he's excited about it. And it was pretty cool to get to see behind the curtain a little bit of his personality.
The connection with fans that we've developed over the years is really one of the most rewarding parts of the job. Talking to fans and getting their feedback about, I really enjoyed the podcast, or I really like those sneaker photos that you posted. Being able to get that feedback is phenomenal, and social media has really obviously facilitated that. It's really been helpful in terms of finding out what the fans are interested in and maybe how you can better gear your coverage to the things that they find valuable.
Frankly, I don't like basketball pictures. Pictures of guys dribbling the ball, dunking, passing. That's what they do. That's the sport. But what's hard is earning the trust of the players and coaches and staff. Also recognizing people's relationships with each other. So watching a little kid sitting in the front row, seeing a look he gives to CJ and saying, I wish I got that. Well, I know that's going to happen again. So I'm watching for that kid to give him that look again. It's the subtle relationships between people that really interests me.